Flexible workspaces currently will be the next step toward building the brand that is India from all angles.
The growth is coming from both the sides, from strata state and also from the renting spaces by in form of co-working and serviced office spaces.
The work from home culture was post-COVID was implemented. So that's why the demand of this commercial space is going to very high.
Flexible working is a term that is used to describe a working style or a working pattern that falls outside of definition of traditional office timing or location. Working at different locations within the same office, working remotely, working from home, working staggered hours, all these come under the definition or domain of flexible working. This is not a new term. Early 20th century, we had seen the emergence of open offices in New York, and the trend of different styles of offices began from there. It went through multiple iterations over a period of time, and it had its own trajectory. COVID-19 specifically brought the focus back to flexible working as a concept. And work from home was the most popular term that emerged out of that. So flexible working spaces, therefore, are dynamic, adaptable office environments which offer employees flexibility or freedom in where, when, how to work. They support all kind of work styles. They support different kind of needs of workers, and often share resources, thereby giving multiple values to the end users. Work from home, as was the term which was popularized due to COVID-19 pandemic. Similarly, co-working spaces were the term that became very popular out of the flexible workspaces lexicon. Flexible workspaces fall under commercial real estate segment. India's commercial real estate story has been going very, very strong. It has been growing at the same point of time. It has also been adapting to these new needs. We had emergence of GCCs, the Global Capability Centers. We had emergence of co-working spaces, and a whole lot of push given to infrastructure. All these things came together to really bring the focus back towards building flexible workspaces, and they have started playing a significant role in the overall commercial leasing story. As you know, commercial real estate segment has two drivers, retail and office spaces. Within office spaces, the flexible workspaces is something that has been gaining pace. So we'll be discussing all these things today. Now, to discuss this, we have a stellar panel of experts who have deep experience in the commercial real estate and office space segment, and they will be giving us their insights and their crystal ball glazing forecasting for future of this domain. To introduce the guests, I have got in studio Mr. Arjun Veer, who's Director of Ideas Hacks Co-working Spaces.
Hi.
Online joining me is Mr. Hiren Cheda, who's Promoter and Managing Director of Ekatva Group, which is credited with pioneering the development of Wagle Estate in Thane. And we have got Mr. Shiv Garg, who's Director of Fatehia Realty Private Limited. So Namaskar, I'm Prasoon Kumar, and welcome to another episode of The Property Show. We are taking up a very, very interesting topic today. And I'm sure if you are an individual entrepreneur, if you're a startup founder, or anyone who possesses interest in commercial real estate space, this is something that you'll enjoy as a discussion. As always, we start the discussion with some interesting stats and data points because they make the discussion very, very interesting. India's commercial real estate market is expected to be around $50 billion at this point of time, expected to grow to about $130 billion by 2030, which means a staggering 20% CAGR over the next 5 years. The leasing activity on the commercial side saw 21% Q1Q growth and 27% Y-on-Y growth over Q2 of 2024. That indicated very, very strong demand for office spaces. On the flexible work space side, It is expected to be around 9 billion US dollars by 2028, covering about 126 million square feet of commercial real estate. At this point of time, it is estimated to be close to about 80 million square feet of commercial space. Cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Delhi-NCR, which are traditional office spaces, have led the pack in terms of development of a lot of these solutions. However, tier 2 cities like Chandigarh, Ahmedabad, and many others are emerging very fast. So a lot of these developments indicate that we have a very, very vibrant market as far as commercial real estate is concerned, as far as within commercial real estate, the development of office spaces is concerned, and within office spaces, the new age office spaces, which is what is called the flexible workspaces. So let me start the conversation. The first question, I'll go to all of you one by one. Let me start with you, Arjun, in the studios. What are the key factors, do you think, which are driving the demand and supply of commercial real estate in India? Let's just start from there. Yeah. Right. Overall commercial real estate and between retail and office spaces. Right. Which is the one do you think is going to be the key driver in years to come?
I think the key driver for this growth in retail and office spaces has been majorly the coming back to office after the pandemic, and that has been a trend which has grown through the whole from 2022
onwards,
right? Yes, so this has been one trend which is because of the policies of the government as well, which have now started to show their fruit in terms of what all steps they took in policies have started showing their results in the terms of businesses reaching a point where they can now look at employee welfare, can look at growth from the point which they were earlier just building their business when the policy started, right? So this is the kind of inflection point where retail and commercial space will obviously show growth because there is a lot of demand that is going to come and supply will have to match it, right? As you can see in your numbers that obviously retail and commercial spaces are doing really well, right? I believe commercial spaces will definitely go not only into tier 1, obviously they are going towards tier 2, and tier 2 is now right now the tip of the iceberg, right? You know that there is a lot of infrastructure growing and there is a lot of opportunity for that infrastructure to create real estate in areas which you have never understood as places like Nasik and all those cities, right? So this is one of my opinion that tier 2 will become the next driver of growth. And the demand will be there because of a lot of factors of the policies of the government reaching to the hinterland, right? So that is where tier 2 will now bring the whole demand to tier 3. That's my opinion of the question, right?
All right. So, Hiren, coming to you, you have pioneered the development of Thane's, commercial office space segment. The point that Arjun is making, how infrastructure development itself is leading to emergence of new land pools and pockets where commercial spaces can now develop, and the growing demand of GCCs, and that being the latest trend. How do you see this playing up now in years to come, and where do you see this demand and the new supply coming up largely?
So Prasoon, I think it's a simple economics that India's population is growing. As we all know now, we are the most populated country in the world. And with such a young population and the growing GDP, the 5 trillion economy target and everything, businesses are growing. And businesses will need space to do business. So there comes retail, office spaces and everything. The demand for offices has grown because of growing startups and a lot of new businesses coming up. And also what people have realized, I guess, is like when during the COVID, this whole work from home thing and all happened. But people realize, I think going forward, the companies, all the big companies, all the IT companies, we know TCS and all of them, ask their team to get back to office and get going. Because they realize the efficiency and the camaraderie and the ideation which could happen when people met and they worked together was giving them much more productivity. And I think this is shown we have examples of US and JP Morgan and all those companies have asked their people to come back to office. They realize definitely efficiency will improve. And I think that will show that is the reason office space and definitely retail growth is going to continue in growing economies like India.
So, Shiv, coming to you, this growth that we are talking about, which is going to everyone is ballistic about this growth in the commercial real estate space. What do you think would be some of the key drivers of this growth?
The key driver of this space is the mostly the because the work from home culture was post COVID was implemented. So that's why the demand of this commercial space is going to very high on these reasons.
We have seen that the development of commercial spaces primarily have come up, the supply has come up big time in traditional big cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Delhi NCR, etc., etc. Right now, but within these cities, there has been interesting phenomena of emerging of suburbs or satellite cities, right? So whether it's Cyberabad, or whether it's the Gurgaon Noida belt, and so on and so forth, or whether in Mumbai it's the Thane, and now with Navi Mumbai Airport coming, maybe Udan and a couple of other areas will kind of come up big time. So this interplay between the main city and the satellite city, how do you see this playing out?
I think the satellite cities are where the biggest residential developments are happening. Now, if you talk about MMR, the Mumbai metropolitan region, so all the Thanes and Navi Mumbai, where the airport and all is coming up, has huge land potential and lot of huge residential developments happening there. So the simplest thing which a lot of companies have realized is if we can, in a city like Bombay, which is known notorious, and also Bengaluru, which is notorious for its traffic and congestion, people have realized like these satellite towns adjoining to the main city have all the people who come to the work in the center used to travel from there. So why not have satellite offices, setups, bigger areas they could get at a cheaper prices? So a lot of companies have realized, and we have seen this phenomenon in last 7 to 8 years, especially in MMR and such areas where Thane, Navi Mumbai, and those areas have picked up phenomenally well for commercial demand. Commercial.
Similar phenomenon is also seen in Delhi-NCR with emergence of Greater Noida and Yamuna Expressway belt and everything else. Shiv, I just wanted to understand from your perspective the new emerging areas, say in case of Delhi-NCR, which is the Yamuna Expressway belt, or the Greater Noida side, or Faridabad has always been a potential, maybe not realized as much. How do you see these markets now developing over next 3 to 5 years from a commercial office space development point?
You see, the Delhi NCR is the composition of multiple micro market. The immense potential is market in there. If we see that the common features of all the market is that mostly the best talent is available in that area, and the high class lifestyle is there. And this the common factor is that the job opportunity is also there. That's why the Delhi NCR region is growing like anything. If we come on this Gurgaon market, the Gurgaon is mostly the privately led development is mostly there. The major players are there. The DLF is there. The M3M is there. The Batka is there. So many companies are there. Mostly the A grade office and the A grade office is in the Gurgaon. Plus the headquarters, the head office of the most of these companies are in the Gurgaon. Thirdly, the all MNCs office are in the Gurgaon to the close proximity of the IGI, Indira Gandhi International Airport, where the domestic and the international flights are there. So that the development in the Gurgaon is very high. That's why the demand in the Gurgaon, the price rise is very high is there. So that's why the demand as far as the Gurgaon is concerned is very high, and the rate is also very high. If we compare to the Noida is mostly the government controlled land is there. So that's why the government land is there, and the land is allotted by the government, and mostly now we are seeing all this entertainment industry, the IT sector, the media sector is in the Gurgaon. So that the Gurgaon market is up and going there. Or we compare to the Greater Noida. In the Greater Noida, we are seeing the manufacturing hub is there. The manufacturing hub is in the Gurgaon. So that's why all the areas, the demand is very high. So that this area is developing very high level.
So that's the story that is happening on the commercial, real estate and office space side. Let's now delve deeper into the flexible workspace. Arjun, let me start with you. What are the current trends that you see in terms of development and demand and supply of flexible workspaces in India right now, and how do you see this kind of developing over the next 3 to 5 years?
Right. So flexible workspaces currently will be the next step towards building the brand that is India from all angles. So it is not only real estate that it impacts, it also impacts businesses which are trying to create their value out of it. The major part of this is that in India, you will see that flexible workspaces, normal CRE consumption will also move towards flexible in a way that I see the product to become not only a real estate building, which is leasing out a space, but also services added to the real estate model, where you can plug and play those services within that building so that you can get to your table some services, right? That is one way of looking at the industry where the CRE will change towards little bit towards the flexible workspace. So this handshake will come from the traditional CRE model. And then from the workspaces point of view, they will, the ones which are into co-working spaces like our brand Ideas Hacks, we will be moving towards becoming an institution for startup growth, as well as becoming large enterprises also choosing their remote teams to come to co-working spaces and using them. So this kind of a handshake is what I see over the next 5 years, where a CRE will come to, down towards the point where why can't I plug in some more services? And the co-working spaces will say, we have been known for this service. Now let's go back to the society where we are situated and become an institution for everything. For example, you want to do a podcast, please come to a co-working space, right? If you want to really do startup growth, you want value-added services, for example, accounting as a service, marketing as a service, why should I hire a team? Why should I not tell the co-working team to just give me one resource inside the building? It's an extended team with my remote team sitting in there. So those kind of models will make co-working more aligned to services. That's the trend I am seeing in flexible spaces. Right. And yeah.
So let me take this to Hiren. The point that Arjun is making is the emergence of gig economy, and as the economy continues to grow and we have many more such opportunities keep coming up, there will be increasing demand for such solutions in the real estate domain, which are more plug and play solutions, which are more flexible in terms of its usage and in terms of its pricing as well. Say for that example, how do you foresee this moving? Because you made a point that, listen, after COVID was over, there was again a movement of coming back to office, and nothing works like that. And that statement has also been echoed by many leaders, recently. Some well received, some were not very well received. But the point remains that there will be a space for traditional workspace, which is the conventional real estate space, and then there's this emergence of this new age real estate, office spaces. How do you see this interplay happening?
So very good question, Prasoon. So we are seeing a very interesting story building here, especially in the MMR region where we develop. There have been two kinds of growth. One we are seeing from the co-working spaces, the serviced office spaces, which have been set up by Office and WeWork and those kind of setups. There are a lot of corporates who are looking for additional services, which Anshul just talked about, where what additional services the co-working space or they can provide. And on the other hand, what interesting phenomena for last couple of few years, which we have been seeing in this market, is demand for smaller offices. Those guys who are operating from managed or co-working spaces, few of them realize, okay, I am a professional or I am a small company and I am paying XYZ, say a 50,000 for 4 seats kind of a rental. If I put in a little bit of my own money, and if I look at my monthly outflow, and if I can just take a commercial loan or something, and if I can buy my own 400, 500, 600 square feet unit and get more stability, more seriousness, then people realize that, okay, this guy has his own office. That kind of trend also we have been seeing for the last few years. So the growth is coming from both the sides, from strata sale, which we do a lot, and also from the renting spaces by in form of co-working and serviced office spaces.
Arjun, for our viewers, can you define really the flexible workspace the way we talk about, right? So one understanding of that, the mass understanding of that is say a co-working space, right?
Right.
But what else really defines a flexible workspace? Because it's not really about putting two bean bags next to a table and calling it a kind of a flexible workspace. It's really about the innovation in design. It's really about creating those silent spaces. It's really about technology that you are putting in so that there's connectivity from anywhere and everywhere. So what are some of those elements that you think go into making a flexible workspace?
See, the main part why flexible spaces came into the understanding was because of the effort of creating an office for yourself, right? And the money that goes into creating your office and the time that is also money for them. So it came down to the point where plug and play was the main option that came in. So co-working is about in 2 minutes, team comes in, a team of 100 can be accommodated in 2 minutes. It is live. Everything is working. Servers are down, working, and internet is as per the agreement, right? And the teams are now working, right? So flexible workspaces generally are, from my experience, flexible workspaces are the best process if expense department of an organization wants to see that, okay, I don't want to spend that much on my HR expenses, right? So basically my human resource is remotely situated in a tier 2 town or in a location where I don't want to have the whole office to myself. I can just take a part of it as per my requirements. I will have a lock and key. I will have table service. I will have everything that is there that I need. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to get your laptop, plug in. Everything else is our responsibility, which is a co-working space in our case. So you just have to make sure that your employees come on time, and we also help them out with the understanding that if you want to go into your HR processes, we will help you out with your attendance softwares as well, right? Those kind of services then add value. Those are plug-in spaces. So you're understanding their business and getting into their business. The cost of running those activities is very less as compared to they delivering it in their own office in a central location. Right? So the whole cost benefit analysis of doing a remote team and managing it in that way with a full professional thing is what I think is a flexible space. You want to close the account of one employee leaving your organization because he's leaving for some reason. You can just tell us on the day, which is 27th of a month, that next month is his notice period. After that, your seat is also gone. Your cost of real estate is also gone. Right?
So it gives you flexibility in terms of managing.
Yes, so your business is aligned with your
scale
office.
Down, you can,
you're aligned with your office more as your business.
Sure.
Right? That's what my definition of flexible is.
Okay, all right. Shiv, tell me, we have been talking about how tier 2 towns are emerging as next destination, and Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Kochi. There are a lot of such cities which have been emerging as destinations of sort now. How do you think these tier 2 towns are going to develop over a period of time, and do any of them have potential to really become, say, as big as a Bengaluru or a Hyderabad over a period of time?
If you see previously, the 80 to 90% this commercial is in the 4 cities. Now this total commercial is expanding in all the second class 2 tier cities like Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Jaipur and Indore. It has also been seen that most TCS, Amazon, Deloitte and other companies are engaging the space in these tier 2 cities. Because there is the operational cost is lower, the cost of living is lower side, the employee local talent is also is there. So that's why the total this area, yeah, tier 2 to tier 3 cities, the commercial is going on like anything. For example, the Ahmedabad, the gift city is developing is there. The Indore, the TCS is there. There are so many companies is going the tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Okay, so Hiren, another thought that comes to my mind is the play or the competition between the tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities and the emerging suburbs of tier 1 cities, right? So as a developer, you tell me from opportunity point of view, from a cost point of view, where do you think larger action is going to happen? Would it be the satellite towns of the larger cities which will take the lead, or it is the tier 2, 3 cities which will take the lead?
I think there is opportunity in both the places. See, a lot of talent would still prefer because of the other perks which come by living in the metro cities, like quality of education, connectivity, and all of that. That maybe the satellite towns of metros, I see, have got good traction right now, and they will continue to grow. But on the other hand, now quality of life in tier like Ahmedabad, Indore, and all is picking up, and there are a lot of people who are willing to move to these cities also because they offer good quality of life. So they are also going to see a lot of growth. It all depends on how the big corporates or all the big recruiters, say, as just mentioned about, say, Deloitte or a TCS setting up a huge campus in Indore. If those guys are looking to move their 5-10,000 people and just get the ecosystem around it, then that large scale kind of movement needs to happen in those tier cities from large corporates, and then the tertiary all business activities will also grow, and accordingly demand for commercial real estate for smaller or strata size units can also increase there.
So the benefits of flexible workspaces obviously are many, and they sound very future proof as well. Where does that leave traditional workspaces then? How do you think traditional workspaces are going to play up? Is all new development going to move towards these new age flexible workspaces, or there's still decent demand for traditional workspaces and that will continue to be? Let's start with you, Hiren.
So I think these traditional workspaces will continue to thrive. For the simple thing, there are companies who want stability, who are looking at this investment, all this real estate also as an investment. They want continuity. They have the lot of infra costs which they need to put for the security systems and all. Like say in Thane, I think TCS holds almost a 4 million square feet campus they have here. And they have put in, I think, more than 25,000 people for summer, and they have a long lease with Hiranandani for next, I think, 20 odd years. So that kind of demand will continue to be there. And this traditional side, TCS does not want to keep setting up systems and keep moving people, because those people are going to move in, they are going to buy houses around, they're going to put their children in schools nearby, and they cannot just pack in and just move these people in the next 5 years somewhere else. So a lot of traditional houses, cash-rich companies, those are going to continue and are going to look at traditional kind of spaces for sure.
Hiren, last few questions. What are the key trends that you see are going to be the driving factors of development of commercial real estate sector in India over the next 5 years?
I think now, day by day, as the trend started moving from standalone residential buildings to complexes, condominiums, and all of that, we are seeing that kind of demand coming up in commercial real estate also. We have developers who are developing amenities which are employee friendly. They are having cafeterias, they're having walking tracks, gymnasiums, common meeting rooms, conferencing facilities, green building, which will attract green building norms are being adopted by a lot of developers to attract multinationals who can come in as tenants. A lot of games rooms are coming up, terraces with other amenities and everything is coming up. So a lot of amenities and employee welfare things are being thought by developers, which will attract new age startup founders or new professionals who want to move to a nice commercial development. Those kind of trends we are seeing, and they are in those kind of developments are in good demand, especially in MMR region. That's what the new trend which we have seen.
Arjun, according to you, what are some of these factors that will lead to the growth of commercial flexible workspace as a segment in India? It's projected to be quite significant over the next 4 to 5 years. Right. But what are those factors that will drive it?
The factors will definitely be remote plus central offices. That kind of a trend will definitely show its face in a large way. You will see startups also becoming large consumers of larger workspaces, where there will be a central team, which was traditionally, now they've been working on their teams for around 5 to 6 years. So now those, as Hiren told us, that their setups have already happened in those locations for their employees, right? So now it is very difficult to move out of that central location. But yes, now because they are expanding also, they will also look at remote teams to be in remote areas, remote places, which is tier 2 majorly right now. And in tier 2, their cost of employee management and everything will take shape. This trend will definitely grow because you cannot have one team. An older team which is already established in a central location can always definitely be in larger organizations and they can move that way. But hub and spoke models in startups will definitely be a big part that will drive the real estate as well. And I see it not only in companies which are traditional companies, but also the ones who have just listed on National Stock Exchange, the one startups which are now coming up, they need sales offices in tier 2 towns. They need commercial spaces in a smaller format in locations like Faridabad, Gurgaon, Delhi-NCR, which is majorly, as Hiren told us, that will be the growth driver, right? And then it will obviously, Indore and cities like that will obviously pick up. But yes, that is the trend I see from the startup side. So I majorly will represent the startup side and the mix of startup and real estate consumption by large organizations like builders also now taking up co-working spaces because they have tier 2 projects going in.
Correct.
So now those tier 2 projects need teams which are locally available to those projects. Those are my real on the ground observations of what is happening in my spaces, right?
Okay,
so
that's very interesting. That's very interesting. And to end it on a spicier note, I cannot let you go without giving me your view on something very, very interesting. So give me your take, Hiren. Future 5 years from now, majority would be work from home or work from office?
That's a trick question. I think it's going to be definitely a combination. As I mentioned earlier, people have realized that there has to be a balance. So people might just move to a hybrid model with a 4-day in office, 1 day at home, or 3-day in office, 2-day at home. But there cannot be just a work from home or just move in office. People are realizing the value of both. So everyone is going to, all the employers are going to have to be balancing their employee well-being and welfare and whatever. So I think it's going to be balance of both.
Okay, Arjun.
So building on his point, basically what is going to happen is it is about the kind of business that's looking for a co-working space or a flexible workspace or a commercial real estate, right? I will see that departments in the organization can be put into remote for strategic reasons. So strategic high commercial real estate consumption will obviously pick up, right? Which also will add value to flexible spaces in remote areas as well as main areas. The other trend that I see in 5 years from now is basically overall sustainability will come as an argument that will come in CRE in a big way, because currently sustainability, you cannot measure the carbon credits, one point which is hitting us really hard in India. But if you can work on carbon credits, the real estate will obviously change towards sustainability.
Sustainability. We're not the third largest country in terms of LEED certified buildings. And most of them are commercial anyway.
Correct. But we need something to organize ourselves in our own country to get smaller builders who are also brands in remote and tier 1 towns to get that power that, okay, I should go sustainable, right? That I think will pick up in the near future. And also apart from that, the trend will obviously go towards flexibility. For me, I think work from home will be a part for different departments, right? For example, a software developer in a large organization, right, can be put into his home and can be organized very nicely now. They have learned the process. But the overall sales team has to be in a remote office. So it's more departments getting into...
so the nature of the work will dictate
nature of the work.
The work style.
Nature of the work.
So on that note, viewers, we had a very, very informative conversation today around flexible workspaces and the future of it. If you have any questions, do come back to us. Any questions for our panelists, we'll send it to them and we'll get you answers from them as well. We'll come back to you with many more such interesting conversations in the Property Show. Keep watching MBTV.